no matter how risky or scary it may seem, and it might seem like you're losing part of your identity, but these temporary feelings will save you from so much regret and lost energy down the line.
Hello, and welcome to Behind the Screens, IT at ND, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the IT solutions consultants at the University of Notre Dame.
Here we explore the challenges they face, the innovative solutions they provide, and the tips and tricks that can help you make the most out of your technology. I'm Krista, Manager of IT Marketing and Communications in the OIT.
And I'm Scooter, Director of Information Technology for the College of Arts and Letters. We're thrilled to have you with us today.
We said that we're going to share our season finale in this episode slot, and that it will have Jane Livingston, our CIO, talking to us about the end of the fiscal year and the beginning of new times ahead. But we didn't. That's not what this episode is. Instead, it's a special bonus episode. We have an announcement, and that is why we are dropping this bonus episode on you today. So to give you the TLDR, we are welcoming Diana Garcia to the Behind the Screens team. Yay!
Whoa, Diana!
Welcome, Diana.
So since Diana is coming aboard, then Diana is our guest this morning, our guest today. Diana is an IT support technician working on the service desk as part of the client experience team. Welcome, Diana.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, before we get too far into this, could you tell us a little bit about your current role? Tell us about the journey that brought you here, how long you've been with us, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so I actually came to Notre Dame for undergrad. I came from Arizona to the cold South Bend winters.
So cold.
Yeah, it's been a hard adjustment. But so I came here for undergrad. I studied neuroscience, and I loved that field.
Neuroscience?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, I was taking all this coursework, but I had a lot of friends that were studying computer science, and I remember being very jealous of just watching them code, which is a very nerdy thing to say, but it was just so cool. That was so interesting to me, and I was looking for some minors to kind of combine both of my interests. So I found a computing and digital technologies minor. And actually, in the fall of my senior year, I took a privacy and security course with Jared Bulasan, who works for the OIT.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that was all it took for me to decide, you know what, medicine isn't for me. I like computers a lot more. I'll diagnose them over a human any day.
Yeah. Did you also come out of that course wanting to visit Hawaii? Because whenever I talk to Jared, I think about that.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to take a trip there. When I was taking that course, it was also the time when I was supposed to register for the MCAT. And so it was like I was in the queue to register, and there's like 20 minutes left to actually do it. And I just went to YouTube and I searched up a day in the life of a doctor videos and watched a few videos, decided, you know what, this does not align with my personal goals. So I just closed the tab, and I took a deep breath and said, okay, well, I guess I'll do IT. It sounds pretty interesting. And that class was just so interesting. Like, I had never felt so engaged in a classroom, I think, ever in my career at Notre Dame. So that was a huge sign. I found that there were some openings in OIT, so I applied and I got hired last August, so almost a year ago, as an IT support technician for the service desk.
Those videos you were watching, was that Dr. Pimple Popper? Is that what kind of put you off on going down the medical route?
No, I actually love those videos. As weird as that might be.
So Diana, could you tell us a bit about your early experiences at the service desk? Maybe what's the biggest surprise of working, full-time in IT?
Yeah, my biggest surprise was, I mean, when I walked into the service desk, I had no idea there was an actual office space behind the front counter. So just walking through that hallway and then in our office was like, wow, I didn't know people were here. Like, I had never been inside the office at all. So it was just so shocking that there were people actually living there. It's been a good experience. I've learned a lot about how to troubleshoot and all the different considerations you should have in mind when you're looking at a specific issue. I mean, the people are amazing, the work is great, and it's pretty much everything I wanted.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, almost every single episode that we record, the service desk comes up as a topic and we talk about it sometimes at length, because it's such an important aspect to our work here. And a lot of the consultants, have a lot to say about the service desk and what the relationship is. And they don't all have the same relationship with the service desk. But having you bring the perspective from the service desk into this hosting role, I think is going to be just incredible. So, what do you like the most about working in IT now, especially from coming from a path in neuroscience?
In general, I think it's just brought a lot more like self and professional confidence and comfort. When I was still considering medical school and studying neuroscience, I just felt like a huge imposter. And there was just so much pressure to be the best student and get involved in as many things and do research, and you have to compete with these people because they want to go to the same medical school, and just it was kind of toxic.
Competitive and
Yes, very
stuff.
competitive. Yeah. I think my biggest fear was being asked like a medical or science question and just being like a deer in headlights, not knowing anything at all. Because in my head, it's like, well, isn't this what you're studying? So I didn't like that. But then when I took that privacy and security class and all the other classes in the minor and the cloud computing, it was just like everything came so naturally to me. And I was so engaged and motivated to learn more. And being in the job, I've felt that confidence come to light. And it's so nice to know what you're doing. And also just having the flexibility. Like after work, I can just come home and finish a book I'm reading and not have to go study for a test that determines my future as a doctor. So
Right.
that's been super nice.
It's a wonderful day when you leave studying for tests behind you.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
a lovely day.
Yeah.
You've mentioned one mentor here for sure. Have you had any other professors or mentors who have influenced your career change or supported you on your journey?
Yeah, actually, one of my best friend's mom, we were out to breakfast for like a random football weekend, and she's a doctor, so I was kind of talking to her about it, and kind of my hesitations. And by the way, I'm very squeamish, so I don't know what I was thinking. And I told her that, and she was like, "Oh, I don't think you're gonna last. Like all your rotations starting out are just like you're just kind of seeing everything." And oh my, yeah, I think I would have fainted or got very lighthearted or
Sort of a how quickly can we gross you out sort of thing?
yeah, exactly. I just can't stand blood.
Are you only squeamish to blood, or is there other things too?
It's blood, and then one time I was watching a C-section and just being in that room and smelling like I think the skin, they were burning the skin or something.
Oh,
Just that
Ew.
smell was like,
cauterizing stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
no thanks.
cannot take
Hmm.
that. Um,
Smells always get me too.
C-sections are gruesome too. They got to move all those guts out of the way.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah, this is going
yeah,
downhill in a hurry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Let's find a happier question.
We talked about what's surprising about the doctor world. What's surprising? What's something that people might find surprising about your time as a student here?
Oh, that's a good question. So the people I work with know I have a pretty strict like caffeine schedule and sleep schedule. And when I was in college, I would drink coffee at any hour of the day, even at night.
Oh,
And I would pull very frequent all-nighters, especially freshman, sophomore year. And it got so toxic because I would take a nap at like 2 a.m. for about 2 hours, wake up at 4 a.m. to just finish whatever homework I was a little behind on. And my old roommate has so many pictures of me just on our little futon with like a sleep mask and one of those old alarm clocks with the little bells that I would use to wake me up. Gosh, it was so intense, and I'm so happy I never have to do that again.
If you could give advice to students now who might be considering a career pivot, what would it be?
I would say if there's even the slightest bit of hesitation in your heart or your gut that you get when thinking about your future career and the trajectory, like please follow that instinct, that hesitation, because it's your mind and your body telling you something. And so do not brush it off. It's really hard to go against the grain. I know for me, like just being surrounded by all these medical, like pre-med students and neuroscience students, it was like the only option was medical school or research. So that was hard, but no matter how risky or scary it may seem, and it might seem like you're losing part of your identity, but these temporary feelings will save you from so much regret and lost energy down the line.
Yeah. So it's better to make the decision and make the correction than it is to just keep going in the path that you don't think is quite right, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
Definitely be happier.
It's really good advice. You know, Andy, that makes me feel like I need to talk to you about something.
What are we talking about?
Well, you know, Diana says that when you're not so sure that you're going down the right path, you should make the decision. And you know,
This
do
is
what
starting
you
to
think
sound
is better.
serious. You're scaring me, Krista.
So this is, you know, it can be scary, Scooter. You know, change is scary, but it's good to make those corrections when you realize you have the opportunity. So, I quit.
I'm sorry, what?
I can't host anymore.
What?
I can't be a host. I cannot host.
Cannot
No
host?
mo host.
I think something's wrong with her mic, Andy.
Yeah, you had problems the last couple of times. I keep hearing that you're not going to host anymore. That's got to be an error. And
Krista?
now I'm not hearing anything.
Krista,
They're pretending to be
down.
frozen.
Oh no.
We have a woman down.
Yeah. No. Well, what I was going to say though is that Diana did such a fantastic job hosting that she should host. We already said that she's going to host.
I like that idea.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Okay.
Scooter, how do you
Diana-
feel about that idea?
Yeah, if you want me to.
Oh, I
can.
suppose.
Yay! No, in all serious though, we had this conversation a while back. I've taken on a new responsibility, which is co-leading a new ERG here at Notre Dame, which is called Profound, and its whole purpose is to support people with seen and unseen disabilities. So I'm going to need some more time to be able to put toward that passion and to be able to support that team and to be able to support all of you at Notre Dame.
But Krista, I do have one request. Well, actually, two requests now.
Yes.
First, what is an ERG? And secondly, I can't let you go completely. You got to stay on as part of the team.
How about this? How about I do promotions for you guys? I'll promote your show, and I'll tell everybody at Notre Dame how awesome of a show it is.
Do you think you know how to do marketing and communications?
I mean, maybe. I know some people in marketing and communications at in the OIT, so I think I can get something out there.
Okay, as long as you got a team
can.
to support you, I think that'd be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deal.
And what is an ERG?
An ERG is an employee resource group.
Oh, excellent.
It's,
And so
yeah.
you're building this one around seen and unseen disabilities.
Yes.
Tell us a
Yep.
little more.
Yeah, so a little bit more about that is I have ADHD, and I was diagnosed when I was in first grade, and you know, it was something that I dealt with all through grade school, and you know, I was one of the kids that had to like leave class mid-morning to like take a pill and then go back to class and then leave class again mid-afternoon to take another pill, like, you know those kids that had to go into the hallway and take their pills, right? That was me.
They're called something different nowadays.
They do, yeah. They have time release stuff now, really cool stuff these days, where you don't have to like leave class. But you know, and honestly, like aside from being out of class to like take medication, I also got sent into the hallway a lot.
You were one of those.
Yeah.
Kids.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I couldn't shut up in class. No, absolutely. But yeah, so it's not something that ever really came into my work life. I never really had a problem with getting things done because I've always worked in really deadline-driven environments. So I worked in local TV for more than a decade. So I had like stuff that had to be done within the hour, like, entire promos and stuff that had to be shot, written, edited, on air within the hour. So it was really easy for me to just like do my work and not need medication. Same thing at like an ad agency, really tight deadlines, corporate life deadlines, So then coming to Notre Dame, it was like, wow, this is an amazing amount of flexibility that we have now. But for me, that caused a bit of a problem because with the flexibility came some lack of stability, and it reminded me like, oh yes, that's true. I have ADHD. I forgot about that because I forgot about it when I graduated high school. But here we are again, and I need a little bit of help. So I tried to pursue getting some help, and we have access to things that a lot of other folks don't here at Notre Dame. So it was relatively easy for me to get that diagnosis back on track and get back on some medication. The whole process took me like 3 months, but there are adults who go through life who know that they have this or know that they have something that won't ever get diagnosed because it's so hard to hunt down help. And that's kind of where I had the idea like, man, we really need like a support group or an employee resource group or something to, just get folks together and find their community when they're afflicted with this kind of thing, especially being neurodivergent in such an esteemed institution. You can feel like a little bit of an outsider because you definitely think a little bit differently than other folks do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Krista, they are very lucky to have you co-leading this ERG with them. As you talk, I can tell it's from the heart and experiences that you want to share and help other people. So you're going to do a fantastic job, and I'm still happy that you're going to be part of this team too.
Thank you. Yeah, and this podcast has actually become a really important part of my communications plan for IT at ND. So yes, I'm absolutely still part of the team. We're going to make sure that we are fully incorporating this podcast into our communications. We're going to make sure that we're telling campus about it, and we're going to sync up our efforts because it's a terrific platform to be able to communicate about technology stuff here at Notre Dame.
So, Krista, as we wrap up, or we nearly wrap up season 1, you must have had some favorite moments that you want to remind us of or share with all of us.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. So yeah, there's a lot of moments that stand out to me. And I would say though that the biggest thing is the relationships that I made through this podcast because like I didn't know you, Scooter, and I didn't know Andy before this podcast. So I'm so happy that this podcast brought me to you guys and that I know you guys now. I feel like it's exactly. It's like such a great relationship. And I feel like, just being able to all come together and talk about these different nuanced things within our community has been incredibly enlightening. And the same thing goes for a lot of our guests too. Like I wouldn't have met Tracy Franck when I did had we not done our podcast, which ended up being great because she was just getting ready to join our team anyway. So being able to meet her was like really wonderful because I worked closely with John Kelly. And so then being able to meet Tracy ahead of time and really learn about her through our show was definitely awesome. But also like I'm not a technologist. So the more I listen to these episodes, the more I understand about how IT at ND functions within Notre Dame and what it really means because, my role is to basically translate things to the end user and to translate things across our team as well. So being able to listen to these podcasts and take part in them has really made a big impact on my role personally.
Excellent. So, Diana, I'm glad you're still here because now that we've announced you as joining our team as a host, we've got some more questions to ask you.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you're stepping into this new role as a co-host.
Yes.
Going to be really officially started with us in season 2.
Yes.
What made you say yes to this opportunity?
Well, In general, I'm a pretty say yes person, especially if it means some kind of development or growth. So there was that. But also, this might sound a little weird. It's not, I don't know, I think it's just unique. But I've always loved trinkets and specifically microphones and little recorders. And I think that came from my dad buying me a microphone when I was like 4 and we recorded like a little music album together.
Oh,
And I would just,
fun.
yeah, I would just play around with that thing even if it wasn't plugged in. So I guess I grew up with that a little, but aside from that, I love talking to people and just sharing opinions and spreading it across. And I mean, this seems like such a fun and goofy group. So I'm excited to be a part of that. And I mean, Krista mentioned it too, like having that balance between learning about the technology at Notre Dame and also getting to know the people behind it sounds like a good opportunity.
I think I heard her just call us goofy. Was that?
Maybe.
She did.
It's okay. We can own it.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
In transparency for our listeners, she's been behind the screens with us for a little while in the last couple of episodes to see how we do things. So she's been part of the bloopers and the mess ups and the goof ups that a lot of people don't hear. So I think goofy is appropriate.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. Yes.
She's definitely well informed as to what we're all about.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to break it to these guys that I needed to step down, but luckily they all liked my succession plan. And the person that I was really, really hoping could take my place said yes, Diana. So I was so excited that she's able to come in and do this. Because like I mentioned before, being in the service desk, but also having that, fresh perspective is going to be really powerful, I think, for this group.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So Diana, what are you most excited about as the next podcast host? What are you going to bring to us?
I am very excited to just connect with more OITers. I think I've gotten very familiar to everyone's net ID, but have not actually met a lot of these people, and I just hear their names. So I think actually speaking to them and getting to know them a little more is very exciting for me.
Yeah, you'll get to meet so many people outside of the OIT too. That's kind of like one of the best bonuses about this is that it really bridges between the different divisions within Notre Dame, Scooter and his crew at Alco, MCOB people, the library. So you'll get to really talk to a lot of the IT people here on campus.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's very cool. So how do you think your perspective as a service desk team member and a former student, I mean, those are big, important things, parts of who you are. How is that going to shape you and your role on the show?
I think it'll just, in general, maybe shed more light on what the experience of being, well, specifically being part of service desk, just shed more light on what it is to be so customer facing. The very definition of service desk is first point of entry into the university and services. And that way, maybe we can better understand what other people that maybe we normally don't think about, like retired staff or kind of more removed affiliates, need, and how we can best think of them and cater some services to them. And I can say the same thing for being a student, because as a student, I feel like I was a bit removed from OIT, and I was like, oh yeah, this thing exists. I need my account, okay. But I didn't exactly know what was going on, and that was actually another big surprise when I joined OIT. I was like, "Wow, this is immense, and you guys do so much." So I think just, again, maybe bridging that gap a bit more would be a cool thing to talk about.
Absolutely.
Very fun. And as Krista mentioned earlier, we've because of the topics we discuss, because of the people that we talk to on the show, the service desk inevitably comes up almost every episode. It's becoming such a central point of all of the, not just the break fix work, but you're an integral partner with so many other projects that are going on, integral part of communications plans, all, it's a vital hub of everything that's going on. So I think it's great that we're going to have you as a rep from that area right here in the thick of things with us. I think it's going to be great. Yeah. This is a great opportunity because we're approaching the end of season 1. You're coming on board. What would you tell our listeners who are tuning into season 2 for the first time, folks that don't know us yet? What
Yeah.
are you going to let them know?
I would say stay a while. These episodes are pretty easy listens. You can honestly, even if you're making dinner or whatever, like you can just listen to it while you're doing that. And it's such a good way to learn about cool things going on around campus. And I mean, I mentioned this before, but just getting to know people whose names you might have seen or heard of, but you've never actually gotten to know or interact with. So stay a while.
So as we have been talking about this, and this kind of comes to fruition, Krista, I was hoping, as still the host and host for at least one more episode for our season 1, you could help me a little bit vet if Scooter and Diana are going to be compatible as hosts together, because you two had a dynamic relationship, and Scooter might not mention it, but he's got tears in his eyes right now, crying.
I know this has been really hard on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've had to be on mute about half the episode. I've got
Do you think, Krista, you could help me vet them and see how compatible they're going to be?
Let's do a game of this or that. How about it?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. This is this or that hosting edition. So I'm going to make a statement, and then I'm going to give you 2 options. And then I want you to both answer as soon as it comes into your brain which of those options you would choose. So you will be answering at the same time. And it will be hilarious.
Okay.
Okay. So
right.
let's try the first one. It's going to be about tech and work life. Okay. Here's the 2 things. Dark mode or light mode?
Dark mode.
Oh, it depends on the time of day.
Yeah, that too.
Adaptive it is. Okay.
Adaptive. Yep.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's one.
There you go.
That's the right answer. Good job,
Yep.
Diana.
All
You got
right.
it. Okay, on to pop culture and entertainment. Marvel or Star Wars?
Oh, Star Wars. I love them both, though.
Yeah, I think I'll say Marvel, but I also like Star Wars.
Okay. I feel like there's still, good vibes there. Like you guys had, some hesitations, and there was no definite, no arguing.
Star
no
Wars
pushback.
is in my
Yeah.
DNA. I saw A New Hope when I was like 6. So no matter how good or how bad, I have to watch them now.
Excellent.
I came to
good.
Marvel late, but I'm enjoying that too. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't think that Diana is going to be the type to drop any Captain Kirk references or Starship or any of that when you guys are talking about Star
Probably
Wars.
not.
Probably in safe territory there. I think you're good. I think the the Enterprises will be separate and honored that way.
that's Star Trek, right? Well, anyway,
Exactly.
we can get in all kinds of trouble.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did? I was mixing them up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The geeks who are listening know they didn't miss that.
No.
I totally
know.
missed that.
We're all on
Of
to you.
course.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Reality TV drama or true crime doc?
True crime.
True crime.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, life preferences and vibes. So, beach day or mountain hike?
Beach day.
Ooh, beach now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Done both. Love them both, but
Yeah, they're both nice for sure. Depends on the time of year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you're on a plane, do you pick the window seat or the aisle?
aisle.
Easy
Oh,
access
dude,
to the
me too.
restroom.
I also pick the aisle because I always have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I want to be able to get out.
I just like a little extra space. I'm claustrophobic, so anything that impedes me between me and the exit is in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, dog person or cat person?
Dog.
Cat.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
All right. We've got our first hard disagree here, I think.
It's a very hard disagree too.
Dogs versus cats. Yeah.
I like cats.
Let's jump over to the wild card ones.
Right? Ooh.
Oh, no.
Time travel to the past or to the future?
Pass.
I don't know. I can always read about the past. I go to the future.
Okay.
Good reasoning.
All right. Yeah. Yep. Teleportation or invisibility?
Teleportation.
That's hard. Yeah, I think I'd do the same.
I mean, being invisible would be cool, but
Yeah.
man, getting
If
the
I never
time
had
back,
to commute again in my
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
You do a lot of commuting, though.
I do, and I'd rather not.
I don't think we ever actually talked about that on the show before.
Did we?
So let's
No?
I don't think we did. So like maybe folks don't know this. Scooter lives in like Ann Arbor, right?
No, Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo,
Oh,
Kalamazoo,
no.
Michigan.
Michigan
So
towns.
It's
Yeah.
about an hour and a half away. And I don't do the commute every day. Usually I come down on Sunday nights, and then I'm here on campus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I go home Wednesday night. So work from home a couple of days and then lather, rinse, repeat.
Nice.
And I've had to come down and back the same day. And I know some people would say, well, that's not that far. And they may be right for them, but I hate driving. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do it there and back in one day if I don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't blame
Hence
you.
the teleportation.
It's
Yeah.
teleportation, right? I am
Yes.
so excited about driverless cars. They cannot come fast enough.
Literally? Like
Literally.
they can't go fast enough?
80, 90, 100 miles an hour. Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask one more from this list. South Dining Hall or North Dining Hall?
Depends on the occasion.
So I've been frequenting South for a long time, and I just went to North for the first time this week. And I like different things about each hall.
Yeah.
I like South a lot because it gives off that Harry Potter sort of Great
yeah.
Hall vibe, and I'm
Yeah.
really into that.
Yes.
We call it
Um,
Hogwarts.
Yeah. What did I say?
Harry
Great
Potter?
Hall? I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Great Hall.
Yeah, that's fine.
You were right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. They're both good, but I think if you back me into the corner, I'm going to say South.
Alrighty.
I like South for dinner, but it's so dark you can just fall asleep on the spot. But
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's a good
never been there
vibe
at night.
anyways.
Oh,
It's
no,
nice.
me neither. Because for me, it's lunch. It's always lunch.
Yeah, always
Mhm.
lunch. Same.
But that's that student experience. That's that
Yeah.
difference, right?
Fresh perspective.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes, the fresh perspective. Exactly.
That's right. Krista, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think they sound pretty compatible.
Yep, I think they sound good. You guys pass.
Yay.
Ding, ding. Good job.
Because for those of you who can't see our script, which I know is everybody, I was a little concerned when we wrote in here that we might have to come up with some sort of podcast prenup. I wasn't sure what that was going to be. And it had me very on edge. So glad we don't need that.
Yeah.
If you guys disagreed on a lot of different things, we might have to like split up assets and screen time to do things differently and so forth. But I'm thankful we don't have to do that.
You know, it sounds like we're not. Good.
No, it'll be fine. There will be no Star Trek references dropped into Star Wars conversations. It'll be great.
Good.
Yeah.
I would miss those completely, unfortunately.
This is like a whole show of fun.
Well, let's do consultant quirks then. Scooter's not allowed to answer because these are all for Diana this time.
All right.
So, what fictional character do you identify most with?
I would have to say Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I also wanted more from this provincial life, if you know that song. Yeah, I mean, I came from a super small town that was just stagnant. So I definitely wanted more with that. And I love reading, so I don't know. We seem pretty compatible in that sense.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Elizabeth also said Belle, right? Was it
Oh,
Belle?
nice.
Or was it Elizabeth who said Belle?
Somebody did, yeah.
I think it was Elizabeth.
So Diana, South Bend is the big town.
Well,
Okay,
I
just
mean,
trying to frame this for reference here. Yeah.
yeah, it's far enough away, but it is a lot bigger than my little town.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
A lot colder.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't stand the clouds, but
yeah.
it's okay.
It'll permacloud around here for a bit. That happens. Okay, so if you weren't in IT, what job would you have?
Neurosurgeon.
Oh God, no. I would actually love to train otters or any other like marine life or cuddly creature.
Aw, that would
Yeah.
be sweet.
Maybe it's in the books after this life. Or arrow.
Cute. Otters. Otter trainer.
All right. Are you guys ready for Did You Know? Tech Edition?
Yeah.
Wait, more questions?
More questions. This is the fun episode, like you said. This is the fun.
Okay.
So this is where we uncover surprising tech facts and handy shortcuts you may never know you needed. But it's not just for the listeners anymore. I am quizzing the hosts and our guests. So we will be keeping score. And just to update everybody real fast, Scooter is in the lead with 2 points.
Woo.
Krista has 1 point, and our guests have 1 point currently. So today, for our purposes of guests, Diana's going to count as our guest points, but we'll move over to host starting in season 2.
Excellent.
But right now, Scooter is in the lead. Are you guys ready for today's question?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Talking about technologies again that are in computers that we use all the time. This one's going to be about webcams. So what was the original purpose of the first webcam? Was it A, security monitoring, B, a coffee pot check, or C, remote teaching?
I like coffee, so I'll go with that one.
Okay. Diana's going with B.
Oh man, that answer is definitely obscure enough to be it.
I know this one, so I'm waiting.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Man, could it be coffee? I'll go with coffee too.
Krista's going B.
All you have to do is think back to Deanna's comments about being caffeinated on a schedule and needing it all the time. Yeah, it's B.
Schedule.
It's coffee. I'm sure. Final answer.
Wow.
It
Okay.
is B, a coffee pot check. At the University of Cambridge, they designed it to avoid walking up to an empty coffee pot.
Which is a terrible
Wow.
feeling. Oh,
Yeah.
do you guys want to know a dastardly story from jobs of my past?
Yeah.
I'm gonna okay, and it has to do with empty coffee pot, and it has to do with me misbehaving quite horribly. So I used to sit by the coffee pot at work. I won't say where I worked or what the person's position was that I was messing with, but I would get in. I would get in roughly 15 minutes before this person, and no matter how full the coffee pot was, and this is the part that I'm most ashamed of, I would dump most of it out
Oh no.
right before they got to work.
That's
so
like
every-
a cardinal sin, isn't it? I
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't feel
Deanna's
great.
getting
That part
visibly
of it-
red on camera.
That
over
part of
here.
it didn't feel great, but it was just bulk coffee. So it wasn't like the most wonderful coffee. It was like, bun coffee,
Okay.
which I still drank. But yeah, so every day before they would come in, I would quickly empty out most of the coffee so that when they got in, they would only have like part of a coffee and they would have to make more coffee every day. And it took a good amount of time, like a week or so, but finally they started to catch on like, man, every single time I come in, the coffee pot is just low. Oh, that was good times.
Is
Good
there a
times
reason
for
why
me and
you did
my
this?
demented head.
Yeah. Were you guys on good terms?
Oh, it was the best of times.
Worst of times.
Just fun, playful deviancy. It's great. Is that even a word? I don't know. Probably. Maybe. Who knows?
Wow.
I don't know. Messing with somebody's coffee sounds like, reason for dismissal to me. That's
Yeah.
Are you telling me you're second guessing having her part of this team?
It might,
I
in
promise to never
fact,
do it.
messing with somebody's coffee might be grounds for dismissal.
I see what you did there with
I
the
get
grounds.
it. I get it.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll just say it this way. I would never do it to anybody in my life now. Ever.
Okay.
I would not do that.
Reassured.
better.
You guys don't
Yeah.
deserve it.
Okay.
It came from a place of me trying to be I was going to say a swear, but I'm obviously I'm not going to do that. But I was trying to be a jerk.
All right. So, Diana, welcome aboard. Glad to have
Thank
you
you.
as part of the show. We'll get you fully invested at the beginning of season 2, coming up in 2 episodes. But thank you for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you a little bit. And we'll be able to give our listeners a little more coming up soon.
Yay.
Yay.
We're so excited for you to join the show.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
welcome
me.
aboard.
Appreciate it.
If you've got someone you'd like us to interview, just email those ideas to btspodcast@nd.edu. If there's anything else new, exciting, frustrating, or inspiring happening in your IT consultancy world, please share that with us too. If you suspect that somebody is emptying your coffee pot before you get to work, let us know. We'll investigate it. That's a terrible thing to do to someone. Don't ever do that.
See something, say something.
You know, if you see something, say something. Exactly. Those of us who maybe did do that in the past, we were very young and you know, a little bit more spicy at the time. So, you know, it doesn't happen that way anymore. I've grown.
Excellent.
I really
Well,
have.
we
Anyway,
hope
we'd
not.
love to hear your insights.
Next time, we'll speak with Jane Livingston. She'll be our season finale, and we really mean it this time.
Yes.
Until then, thank you for listening.
Yes, thanks everyone.
Signing off from behind the screens, IT at ND.
Stay tech savvy, Notre Dame.
While you answer, is somebody tapping on their desk?
Oh,
You're gonna
caught.
get fired.
Sorry.
Oh.
It's okay.
We're
I can
gonna
just hear it all.
walk you out the door, mister.